Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel L. Connor, and welcome to Monday's edition of Pre-Market Info.
The S&P futures were rallying last night there, Joel, but we've given back the rally, actually trading near the lows. Got up to 1667 overnight. We were trading down at 1659 a quarter, down 2 and a quarter.
Yeah, you would had to been up around midnight to catch that rally up to the 1667 level. We're pulled back, trading a point off the low of the day here. 58 and a quarter was the high. Remember, Dennis, we had a couple highs in that area last week, so S&Ps are opening into some minor support.
Gold here was rallying a bit overnight, but then it kept getting slammed down and actually is trading down just a little bit here this morning. We got up over 1400 a couple of times last night, but got slammed back down. Now we are below 1400 here again, trading 1393.50.
Yeah, it did. That was kind of a quiet rally on Friday. Pumped up in 1400. Not a lot of resistance except for that psychological 1400 number. Coming back, looking at the way the gold is trading right now, I'd be keeping an eye on the close at 1395.80. Need to get green to get back and test that $1,400 level once again.
Despite gold trading down a couple of bucks there, though, the miners are trading up just slightly here in the pre-market. Some of these Canadian, and it could be a little bit of currency effects in there too. But Barrick Gold here, bring up the chart on Barrick ABX. It's trading up at 2029 right now, close to 2007. Look at this chart. It's just had a nice 4 or 5 days of consolidation after a pretty good move, and it's starting to drift higher here. So I think if gold can get back up over that 1400, these miners could run again. But I guess that's the bogey. You got to look at the underlying commodity, the precious metal there, gold, and if it can get above 1400, maybe this bear can go too.
So, what did you write that blog about gold stocks going to zero?
Gold stock, you're going to give me some heat on
Was
that
it
one.
here or was it here?
No, it was before that. It was up. Actually, I was up pretty good on that. It was around $16, I think Barrick was.
Okay.
And I was just saying, all I was saying in that blog wasn't saying it's going to zero, but I was saying it could go the way of Alcoa, which could be single digits. And it got down to 13, and that's rallied ever since. So I guess I was
Okay.
short term wrong on that. I still don't know long term because we watched the prices of aluminum fall so much. And I said if gold went down to $1,000, all these miners would be in big trouble. Obviously, gold hasn't done that. Gold has turned around ever since we got just below 1,200, and it's rallied $200, and that's what really has helped the miners. In the aluminum case, Alcoa, though, I don't know. It's just been dead money forever, and obviously the aluminum prices was the main impetus for the destruction on Alcoa. But gold has come back, and Barrick Gold is
Okay.
trading strong.
I'm just giving
I
you a
know you're
hard
giving
time.
me the heat, and I'm trying to defend
Uh,
myself a little bit here, but it was a bad. Yeah, I shouldn't have. I should have just been loading up Barrick back then.
See, I liked Facebook on the IPO, and it went from 42 to 17, and he didn't give me a hard time, and now it's back. But anyways, with this American Barracks here, we hit 2030 on Friday, and if you go back to the 16th, we hit 20 and a quarter. We're opening up into that level as we speak right now, so that's going to be a good resistance level. If you can clear that 2030 level, you might get another leg up, but you're fighting the bullion, which is trading down.
You mentioned Facebook briefly. We might as well talk about the stock. Just continues to show strength here. Technically, the stock is broken out. It's been above $40 now. I mean, fundamentally, I don't know, but technically, the stock continues to outperform here. This is a stock that was hated the entire year, and now in the last month, saw these, obviously since they reported earnings, it's the most loved stock out there. Everybody's got to have Facebook.
Yeah, well, we really don't know what the high of the IPO is because they
Figure it
because
out, scratch and trades,
they're
cancel
still
trades.
they're still trying to figure it out. In fact, when I look on some of my platforms here, I see 45, but we know that some of those trades were busted there. Just
42,
pulled
I
in.
think, is what I have.
Yeah, I think so too. I think 42 is what I was figuring my retracements on the stock. That's what I was looking at. So we'll use the $42 level. Got to spike it to 40.93 in the pre-market. So we'll keep an eye on that as a resistance point. And as you got to figure after like a monster rally like this, Dennis, that some people got to be targeting the whole numbers. Whole numbers and half numbers as potential exit points. So perhaps 41 could be resistance. coming back on the downside. When stocks have these kind of rallies, I really like to keep an eye on the highest close of the move. Right now, the highest close is 14.55. So for your long-term holders, a close below 40.55, and you might get a little bit of pullback in Facebook.
Tesla broke out to a new high again on Friday, and it's breaking out here again this morning. That's what we talk about on this show: is the momentum stocks that are strong get stronger, stocks that are weak seem to get weaker. And Tesla here has been one of your strongest, obviously since May when it was down with a 40 or in April when it was in the 40s. Now it's 160, 351, just continues to fly. Got up as high as 166.90. It looks like there overnight, so it has pulled back since where it was overnight. But wow, what a move for Tesla.
Right, and also had a spike down under 161. Not sure how much volume actually traded on that, but once again, I'd like to keep an eye on the highest high and highest close, 162.30, 161.84. So let's just call that whole $162 level, as a minor support point below 162. Then you start to get into a little bit of Friday's range here. So 162 is the number I'm looking at in Tesla.
Let's talk about Microsoft briefly because Friday was an awesome day for Microsoft. We had the gap down from earnings back in July. CEO Ballmer announcing that he's going to be leaving the company, and now it fills the entire gap on Friday. We gapped down on that July earnings. 35.22 was the low, while the high on Friday was 35.20. So I guess it missed it by 2 cents, but pretty much in this decimal laden world, you got to say that filled the gap.
Yeah, well, it did also trade up to 35.50 in the pre-market, and then the sellers came in there. I'd once again keeping an eye 35.20. That was Friday's high. I'd only consider this 34. That was the low from Friday as minor support. I think even if you pop down there again the second time, I'd use it to cover short, but I don't think I'd be turned around trying to get long at 34 and perhaps wait for this gap to fill here. But how do you think old Mr. Ballmer feels? He resigns from the company, and the stock has its biggest rally in I don't know how long.
Well, he feels pretty good because he owns a ton of stock, so I forget what they said he made just from announcing his resignation, but made a lot of money from resigning because he's got a ton of stock.
I think Jake on the Benzinga News Desk came up with like $1 billion figure or something like that. So.
I'll announce my resignation. I'll make $1 billion because the stock will just pop that much because they don't like me. That's crazy. So, anyways, we can't fight the tape, though. Obviously, they like the move, and if it can take out that 35.20 high, that's the bogey I'm looking at, that 35.20. But you got to think there's a lot of people that were sitting on some losses here, and it gets back up in this 35 area.
Yeah.
They look to basically scratch out or cover at a small loss, or even possible gains that people are sitting on from the last month. Kind of a gift there. CEO resigns and the stock pops that much. We do have a deal to announce here, Joel. AMGN is buying ONXX, which is ONXX Pharmaceuticals. This was rumored before, and they announced it officially here over the weekend. $125 in cash for ONXX. So not much to say about ONXX. Obviously, it'll eventually trade up probably to that area. But looking at the Amgen chart, Amgen's getting a good pop on this. They also are getting an upgrade from Piper Jaffray here this morning. And the stock is trading up $5.60 on this merger.
Hit 111.73. A lot of times you see the acquire decline in price, but much like the synergies of this deal, so you're getting a rally here. If we continue here, this rally, if we can get back up, 111.90 was your high on August 8th. And then you have the high of the, I don't know if that's an all-time high or the high of the move up in, no, all-time high is 114.95. But you also had a high in the 112s, not going too far back here. Actually, that high was 113.30. So after it could clear the pre-market high of 111.94, looking at 113.30 is your next resistance point. So paying a lot for that company.
A lot of movement in the potash companies here this morning. We got Potash POT trading up 90 cents. We got Mosaic MOS trading up 70 cents. IPI, which is Intrepid Potash, is trading up 30-40 cents here. BHP Billiton over the weekend was saying that they like the potash and they were looking to possibly invest in that area. So there's some positive comments there. There was a rumor that one of the guy that started all these problems was detained or something. So I don't know exactly what is the real news here that's really driving all these potash stocks this morning. There's a couple of potential headlines there that are driving it, but regardless, these stocks are breaking out here this morning.
Potash got up to 31 even, the pop here this morning, just a little bit ago. Kind of settling back in here at 30.75. You have pretty good resistance in this stock. You had several tops at 31.33 to 31.35. That was 3 consecutive highs. So I think if it busts out of there, you get back to the next resistance level, which is 31.89. And that was a high on the day that the Euro Cali, the head of that company, squashed it. But one interesting thing about this potash chart, at least, is that it had the bad news, it had some consolidation, it's formed a very strong base in here, washed out all the week longs here, got a lot of people still sitting short on the stock. So I look at 31.35 is my bogey. If it clears that, you can test the 32 level. And you got a huge gap to fill.
Yeah, and if you look at the charts of Mosaic and IPI, they're almost identical here, really. IPI, I go to Mosaic first, because it's done the same thing. It had the washout, obviously, formed the nice bottom. Kind of was trying to drift down here to retest it, but with whatever news is driving them up here this morning, the stocks are obviously getting a pop. So 80 cents we're up here on Mosaic too. So what's your bogey, just if we got some traders trading that here this morning on the MOS?
Yeah, 43 was the pre-market high in that issue, so they're only 30 cents away from that. We'll keep an eye on that. But you got a huge level, $1.50 away from here. 3 highs from 44.57 to 44.65. That was in the middle of this month. So that's equivalent to that $32 level in potash.
Moving on to some of the upgrades and downgrades here, because we got a few here. Start with Big Lots, BIG. That's a stock that I never really love, but it got an upgrade here from JP Morgan this morning, and this stock has been absolutely killed over the course of the last 5 trading sessions. So JP Morgan's trying to call a bottom here, upgrading the stock today. It is getting a pop. It's trading up 85 or 95 cents now, and the pre-market just took 33.20. Closed at 32.25, so it did kind of reverse on Friday, closed fairly strong, and JP Morgan giving it an additional pop this morning.
Yeah, a whopping 700 shares took this up to 33.20, so buyer beware on this one. Good level to keep an eye on. Wednesday's high was 33.16, trading up there in the pre-market and at an almost absolutely no volume, so we'll keep an eye on the 33.16, the 33.20 level. If it can clear that, we'll find mega sellers at 33.69 and 70. That was a double top that we had from last week on the 19th and 20th.
Interesting chart here, though. You look at it from the beginning of July, and it went straight up from 32 to 36. Hangs out for a month up there, 36, 36 and a half, 37 area, and then in 6-7 days goes straight down from 36 to 32. So we always say when they move up quickly, they can move down quickly, and that's exactly what Big Lots did. So you do have that nice support area down here where we bottomed multiple times in June. So if we do ever go to pull back here, I think you do find some support.
Hey guys, got to break in with the durable goods orders for the month of July coming in much worse than expected at minus 7.3%. Economists were looking for a reading of minus 4%. Durable goods, excluding that transportation sector, down minus 0.6%. Economists were looking for a gain of 0.5%.
Actually, looks like the market's going to try to pop a couple of points on that. Maybe they think, they like the bad economic news because that means Ben can keep printing money for us a little while longer. So they're like bad economic news, better than good economic news, I guess. But 16.60 and a quarter, so we did get actually a lift of about $1.50 on that durable goods number.
Yeah, just going back just to the S&Ps here though, Dennis. That pop is not taking us green yet though.
No,
1661.50 was
try.
the close. Yep, 62.75 was Friday's high. So despite trading higher in the pre-market, we're still going to be opening at resistance here an hour before.
Going back to the upgrades, downgrades, we just talked about Big Lots. Let's talk about some of these other retailers. Ann Taylor getting upgraded, Stifel Nicholas this morning, ANN. I'm just going to fly through a few of these. We got FDO. Talk about this one for a second, kids. Getting downgraded at Deutsche Bank here today. It's trading down 40 cents on the Deutsche Bank downgrade, FDO.
Family Dollar here. Let's take a look at stock. It's been holding up pretty well. We had a double top here on Thursday and Friday, 72.83 to 72.91. So any kind of contra rally here, major resistance forming at that level. Already through Friday's low at 72.04 and Thursday's low at 71.93. So the downgrade has the stock opening into some minor support here. If it can hold there, look some people that get out at their market 72.28. If there's strong follow through though, Dennis, and this stock off the open through the 71.93 low, you're looking 71 even. 71.03 was Wednesday's low. So important for Family Dollar here to hold that opening print.
We got Hasbro getting upgraded at Citigroup this morning, and interesting enough, it broke out kind of the last couple days here. Really, you've seen this in a lot of charts where stocks were obviously weak, and we've kind of rebounded a bit in the market, and some of the weaker ones have rebounded, Hasbro being one of those. 2 good days, closed strong on Friday, continuing to trade up here this morning, actually bid up at 46.78 now, so it's looking like it could open up as much as 75 cents on this upgrade from Citigroup.
What do you think about that, Dennis? Is that a little bit overdone there?
It's kind of with upgrades and downgrades, something like this would usually pop 1% or 2. So you're in that range. So I don't know if it's overdone or not, but and you got follow through obviously from Friday, and you get the momentum going in one direction like that. Sometimes you get a couple people catching the stock short. They might be scared this morning, so it's kind of getting a pop what I would think it would off a Citigroup upgrade.
Okay, well, it's been trying to bang through this 46.40 level. That was a high that you had on August 8th, and now it's treading above there only on a couple hundred shares. If in fact it can hold that level off the open, I expect sellers right near that $47 level. 46.87 was the high on the 6th, and then you had a 47.01 level high on the 5th. So people have been sitting on some stock here in that dip under 45. How about that dip under 45, Dennis? You had the old 1, 2, 5 bottoms in the same area, and that's the major support and major resistance at 47.
Just looking at other stocks that have been popping the last couple of days, some of these interest rate sensitive stocks have really come back well too. If we look at AT&T and Verizon the last 2 days, AT&T kind of had a washout day, almost traded down to the 33 area, and then boom, turned it around, bang, bang. 2 days later, it's up at 34.29. And in Verizon, same thing. It's kind of bounced back the last couple of days too, after kind of having a washout down to 46.74, closed at 47.61. So now it's a buck off the low. So what do you think of this AT&T Verizon charts?
34.33 high on Friday, and then going back to the 16th, you had the 34.38 level. Trading down a few cents here in the pre-market, so SPOO's not giving a lot of help to it. I looked for that area to be good resistance. Coming back on the downside, you kind of whooshed back, went through that $34 level, so I'd use that $34, nice round number, as minor support and major support at Friday's low. And looking at the BZ Verizon chart here, just kind of skimming off the bottom 2 here. Close strong though. Closed at, believe, near the high of the day. Yeah, 46.61 close, 47.70 high. Trading down a few cents, so you got a double good number with the close and the high at the same area. Above that, you ran into some trouble in the 48 handle, 48.09 to 48.18.
Yeah, and the interest rate sensitive stuff hasn't come back. Bring up the chart of PFF just to look at some of those preferred stocks. Obviously, this is a fund that has a lot of them. You can see what it did a couple days ago. Same thing, actually 3-4 days ago. Made the double. A lot of bottoms down there at 37. Then boom, boom. Last 2 days has been really taking off. Some of the individual preferreds have been performing very well here. So kind of bouncing back here ever since the Fed minutes. Really, a lot of this interest rate sensitive stuff has come back nicely. What do you think of the PFF here, first of all?
Gonna find some resistance from that gap down day at 37.94 to 38, and kind of what we were talking about on the show on Friday, Dennis. A lot of stocks were at resistance. We sold off in the morning, and then came back to those levels. So I mean, the resistance is still holding. We're just not just breaking out and running back up to 1700. So I think in order to really think that some of these interest rate stocks are out of the woods here, I think they need to continue and get a green close today.
We'll talk about a green close. We had another one in Exxon Mobil on Friday, 47 or 87.52. So after having that 21 for 22 down days there, it's had two green closes in a row here. Is this going to start a streak where we go now to up 21 out of 22 days, Joel? 2 for 2.
Yeah, it's I don't know. What do you think about the conspiracy theory in this stock, Dennis? I mean, we were both holding those 87.50 calls,
I know, and they try to
non-no
peg it there.
weeklies, and they just teased us, and then they routed 87.52. I mean, this is a stock that, even if the market was a little bit weak today, you could see some strength in it. Just looking at that abysmal chart there. But I really like to see it hold the close. We're trading a few cents above that. I like to see it hold 87.50. Then you have a double top at 87.87, and then after that, things open up to the mid 88 handle, 88.49. But it's important for this thing to hold that 87.50 level.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they try to peg it sometimes at those strike prices, those major strike prices like 87.5. They did a pretty good job getting close at 87.52 so that everybody that's got options basically loses. So overall market thoughts, we just gave back the gains that we just had. We're now down 2.5, treading just above the lows here again at 59.25. Now trading 59. What do we have to look at today here, Joel, for levels on the S&P futures?
I'm still using that overnight low here. It's just 658.25. That was the area of a double top you had before we busted through on Friday. I think we're opening into support. We hold there. We can drift back into the 1660 handle. 1662.75 was Friday's high. If in fact the bulls can support this 1658 level, Dennis, really don't see any good support down until Friday's low at 1650.50.
That's our show for today, guys. Have a great trading session, and we will be back at you tomorrow morning.